Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering what is really going on with Angel Reese. Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness.
Angel Reese's shocking exit leaves WNBA stunned. Why she can't be Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is listed as day-to-day again, and if you've followed her journey, you know that phrase can mean anything. Last season, it was a wrist injury that quietly ended it all. This time, it's a back issue, vague, unexplained. But here's where it gets interesting. The Chicago Sky, they've been thriving in her absence, winning more, playing looser, almost like something shifted. Meanwhile, across the league, Caitlin Clark is doing what she always does, breaking records. Even with a real injury holding her back, she's courtside, locked in, fighting with her team for every inch of that playoff dream. So, you have to ask, is Angel really hurt? Or is this the most predictable vanishing act the WNBA has ever seen? And what about that moment when she was caught walking out on her team? The headlines called it quitting. The internet called it humiliating. Some fans think this is just another Reese PR spin. Another move in a long game of image over impact. If you're one of them, you know what to do. Fire the baby giraffe in the comments. Let's unpack it.
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi.
Angel Reese is day-to-day again, and fans can already predict how this will play out. Same vague injury updates, same vanishing from the lineup, and the same suspicious timing right when things aren't going well for Chicago. We've seen this before, last year. It was a wrist injury said to be a serious fracture followed by surgery supposedly needed to prevent arthritis before she even hit her mid-20s, just like that. Her season was over. No slow comeback. No late push to finish. Strong just done.
Hey, look, bro, you got to remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt. Didn't show up for the championship game. Didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up. Didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where you at, Angel?
And now, the sequel, a mysterious back injury, arriving right on cue. No clear timeline. No honest explanation. Just another sudden detour right when the team needs her most. Zoom in on the schedule, and the pattern starts to take shape. The losses begin to stack. The noise gets louder, and just as the pressure starts to boil, she vanishes. No jersey, no sideline presence, nothing. By now, it's practically routine. 1 week it's day-to-day, the next, she's out indefinitely. So, what is it really? Just another stroke of bad luck, or a pattern that's been hiding in plain sight all along?
Angel Reese, she might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait. What's going on?
But here's the strangest part. She didn't even make the trip to Indianapolis for a game against the Fever. A game that's supposed to be the marquee matchup. The showdown everyone circles on their calendar. This is the league's self-declared it girl, skipping out on the WNBA's biggest rivalry. And yet just a few weeks earlier there she was, right back in Indiana for the All-Star game, front and center, flashing smiles for the cameras, soaking in the spotlight, even pulling a little stunt, claiming she took over Caitlin Clark's trap. So the back works just fine when the lights are on and the attention's flowing, but when it's time to actually face Clark on the court, suddenly, she's nowhere to be seen. And fans are starting to connect the dots, one by one.
She's using her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that, and now she said, hey, the Chicago Sky sucked this year.
And of course, the speculation didn't take long. Is she protecting the brand? Dodging another high-profile loss? Avoiding games where her flaws might get put under a national spotlight? The whispers turned into headlines. The commentary turned sharp. Some are just speculating, but others, they're not holding back. They're saying it out loud. She's done for the season. No coded language, no sugarcoating. They're calling it what they believe it is. She's quit.
She identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my...
2 seasons, 2 injuries. And somehow, both arrive right when the conversation around her game hits rock bottom. Each time. Just as the heat turns up, poof, she's gone. No chance to prove she can fight through the slump. No opportunity to rewrite the narrative. Just silence and a sudden exit stage left. Lay those timelines side by side. And what looks like bad luck to some starts to feel like something else entirely. And here's the part that really stops people in their tracks. The moment she's out of the lineup, the team starts to look, well, like an actual team. Cohesive, hungry, focused. At that point, it stops feeling like an unfortunate coincidence and starts sounding a lot more like, you've got to be kidding me.
Let's get it! Burn! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great. Burn!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bound! Burn!
The Sky's record, it tells a very different story than the marketing does. Angel Reese is pushed as the face of the franchise, the rising star, the cornerstone. But the numbers don't lie. When she's not on the court, the team plays cleaner, sharper, they win, and it's not just a fluke night or two. There's a clear shift. The sloppy losses, the ones that bury teams at the bottom of the standings, suddenly disappear. When she's out, that's not what you want from your franchise player. And then there's Indiana. A game without Caitlin Clark should have been Chicago's shot, but instead, Lexi Hull steps in, drops 17, finishes plus 22, and leads the Fever to another win. It wasn't even close. That's now multiple losses to the same team, with or without Clark. Meanwhile, Indiana plays in rhythm. Boston, Mitchell, Cunningham, Hull, everyone knows their role. Nobody's forcing shots to protect a narrative. Nobody's chasing a camera. They're just playing basketball.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
Team chemistry, it's not rocket science. There are players who lift everyone up, who make the whole machine hum, and then there are those who, even without meaning to, slow it all down. When Reese sits out, something clicks for Chicago. The ball moves. The offense breathes. No more stalled possessions where she's stuck posting up or chasing rebounds far from her spot. Instead, the guards take control, running crisp plays, wings cut sharp, purposeful. Shots come from clean looks, open, confident. Earned, not from scrambling last-second heaves that just don't fall. It's a different rhythm, a smoother beat, and the stats back it up.
Williams gonna have to hurry off the dribble, rolls out. Oh, open three. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hull. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hull catching fire.
Now Chicago just needs to get it a little bit more settled here in the half court. Nurse loses it. Mitchell 2-on-1. It's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham. Cunningham right there for two.
Tease the classic addition dash by dash subtraction. Take out your so-called best player and suddenly the whole team breathes easier. The floor opens up. The pace speeds up. Even the bench comes alive. Locked in and ready. Analysts pick up on the extra spacing. Coaches won't say it out loud, but you can hear it in the silence between their words. They know the game changes when the offense stops revolving around one player's ego. When everyone feels the urgency, the hunger, that's when basketball actually happens.
What they do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have no value.
And that's when the whispers turn into something louder, the biggest hoax in WNBA history. Because a real star, they make their team harder to beat, not easier. If your squad suddenly plays better without you, the problem isn't the roster. It's you. Chicago's improved performance without Reese is becoming impossible to ignore. No matter how loud the PR machine gets, and when you stack that against what's happening in Indiana, the contrast couldn't be clearer. While Reese disappears and the Sky find their rhythm, Caitlin Clark's impact hits like a thunderclap the moment she steps onto the court. One team fades, the other, they ignite.